Hello friends, audit season is now almost on and we all are seeking the amendment which were made in Form 3 CD in March 2025 which are applicable from 1st April 2025. I have gone through that amendments and whatever I have understood from those amendments I am going to share with you about that amendment. There are around 8 amendments. Most of them are, almost 5 of them are for regarding certain insertion in the clauses, deletion from the clauses, and some new clauses entered. I will take these one by one and try to be brief and crisp so that I can take your lesser time. First of all, there is insertion in clause 12 regarding section 44 BC, which is applicable to the operator of non-resident operator of cruise ships. That is not applicable in our area. That is why I am not going ahead on this. The other are omission in clause 19, section 32 AC, 32 AD, 35 AC, 35 CB is now deleted from clause 19 as these are not in on the statute book anymore. Then there is a substitution of clause 26 regarding 43B. The only substitution is simpler words. There is no other change in clause 26. Simpler words, simpler language. Then it is omission of clause 28 and clause 29. It is due to the omission of section 56 to 7A and 56 subsection 2 clause 7B, which were regarding the purchase of share by the company and issue of the share by the company at more than the face value. Then there is another insertion of clause 36B regarding buyback of shares. Buyback of shares has been now has been now part of dividend and it is applicable from 1st October 2024. Hence, this section 2, subsection 2, clause F is the reason why this clause is inserted. We have to give the detail of buyback of shares and amount, cost of acquisition of those shares to allow to make the AO known about any entry of buyback shares during the previous year. I will like to say on this clause that this clause is applicable only when the entries of buyback of shares is part of the auditee's books of account. If it is not part of his business books of account and it is his personal entries outside the books of accounts, then it is not to be reported here. Then there is another clause regarding compounding fees paid. Additional law under clause 21A has been added, and it is now we have to report that if we have made any compounding fees, if we have paid any compounding fees which was relating to any violation of law, that has become now non-allowable. Other is clause 22 is now entirely substituted. Clause 22 is regarding payment to MSME, which was very complex in the last year also, but this year it has been made more complex by adding some more rose into clause 22. Clause 22 subclause 1 remains the same. Amount of interest inadmissible under section 23 of MSME ED Act. There is no change. Then there is another clause 22 subclause 2, where we have to give a total amount required to be paid to micro or small enterprises as referred to in section 15 of the MSME Act during the previous year. This clause is going to be very difficult to report because we have to obtain the information from our auditee regarding all the amount payable with regard to MSME for the purchase made during the year. The purchase may be of goods, expenses, or it may be capital expenditure. We have to report all the purchase here. The part 3 of subclause 3 of clause 22 speaks about paid up to the time given under 15 of MSME ED Act. This is also going to be very complex, because now we have to obtain the amount paid to all MSME during the year pertaining to that year. First of all, under the earlier clause 1, subclause 1, we have to obtain the total payment, then amount paid during the year, and then clause 3 subclause B. Subclause 3 part B is also asking us to provide the amount inadmissible at the end of the year on account of non-payment. So it is going to be a challenge. I don't think we can make this data ourselves. We have to ask SSC in advance to provide this data. We have to give him the Excel sheet in Performa so that we can deduce this information. Without this, we will not be able to provide the information required under clause 22. What I feel that the unorganized sector for which we are working in Amritsar, they will not be able to provide us the data in this format, but we have to ask them. If they provide the data, then we will report the data, otherwise we will qualify our report. But I think subclause 3 of 22 part B, we have to get the information which is relevant about amount not paid up to the time given under section 15 of the Act, MSME Act, and inadmissible for the previous year. This clause is same as the clause of clause 22 in the previous year also, in financial year 23-24. So this is going to be a big challenge to get the data from the SSC and provide the information as required by clause 22. Otherwise, we have to qualify the report. We have to plan the things in advance so that we can make sure that at the last moment SSC doesn't say to us that he was not informed timely. Then the last clause which I wanted to deal is clause 31. A major amendment has been made in clause 31. In this clause 31A, 31 subclause B, 31 subclause C, in all these clauses we have been provided with a browser, a menu from which we have to select the code, and that code are self explainable, self-explainable, and there are 12 codes, and all kind of items are covered, all kind of modes of payments are covered there. So now we have to provide the loans and advances 269SS, 269ST and 269T reporting of each party from where we have raised loan entry wise. We have to entry wise identify and report that in which mode the amount has been received, whether the amount has been received through check, bank draft, or electronic payment, or through cash, through journal entry, through RTGS, NEFT, and the repayment also has to be reported in the same manner. So it is going to be again a complex issue, and you have to do it very early. This is what I have understood from these amendments. Let us now prepare ourselves in advance so that we can now complete the audit in time and get the data from our auditees in time. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.